Hi everyone, for the people that don't know me, I'm Santiago Patiño. I'm the Customer Marketing Manager for North EMEA. Today I'm here with my colleague Christian for Complete. Christian, please introduce yourself and tell us about the company that you work with, and yeah, just for the people that are seeing us to know better your background anyway, okay?
Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm working as grower for Complete, one of the biggest grower organizations in Holland.
Oh.
And also since the last years we expand to outside of the country. I'm doing this job now for 3 years. And before I worked 13 years already in the company. Started as kid and now growing up to grower. This location where we are, we have 17 hectares and 15 of the 17 are with the tomatoes from the Ruiter Bayer.
Wow, that's great. That's super important.
Yeah, and we have different locations in Holland. Total 128 hectares with only tomatoes. So yeah.
So that's really nice. So the company is a really big company in Netherlands. So so you are really important for our customer for us. And well, how was the experience through the pandemic and nowadays, or these difficult times that you have to adapt it with this situation, this difficult situation, and to move to digitally? How was this experience then?
Yeah, it was a little bit a change from face-to-face contact to distance contact, but it doesn't feel all the time like distance, because when you're calling, WhatsApp, sending videos, talk, it's and distance, but it feels more personal for me.
Okay, so the face-to-face stopped to being like the contact, but nowadays you contact more digitally with us and with the customers as well, you know, with all the stakeholders.
Yeah.
And more constantly, most often.
Basically, it's more, if we have now more contact, of course face-to-face is always more personally, but if you have now a lot of more times contact, it gets more personally.
No, exactly, that's really important. It's more personally, it's more often, so you're more on there, you know, on the day by day.
Yeah.
That's really important. And what about the demand fluctuation? So how is the market? It was stable, good times, bad times? And yeah, and a customer perception, what do you think that it was changing on this situation of the pandemic?
I think the demand of the customer, and so that's our demand of the growers, because we need to deliver what the customer needs, of course, to keep the balance. Is quite a little bit the same, but sometimes it's changed from luxury segment, basically smaller tomato, it's a little bit higher if people want more luxury at home when they can't get it outside home. Overall the demand of tomatoes is growing because of the people want more healthier food. It's a hot item everywhere. Healthy and and then you need tomatoes. And
you need tomatoes, vegetables overall, like fresh market.
Fresh market is
growing. Fresh market is growing. Yeah. So the preference for the consumers are changing, for one segment to another, what you said.
Yeah.
So for small tomatoes or premium tomatoes, like the costly tomatoes, you're moving for the big tomatoes, like beef, you know? So it's more or less because people stay at home, they cook more.
Yeah, for cooking is of course more the bigger segments they need. So that's maybe a little bit stable. Or
so the total demand is stable, is flat.
It's all about the balance sometimes.
But the mix for the segments that you grow is changing.
Changing, yeah.
Okay, but the total is pretty much same.
Yeah, I think it's now the same, but in the future it will keep growing because more people, more demand, more healthy.
And what do you think that we are doing, like as buyer, like to engage with you, with the growing companies, you know? What we're doing, like you think that we're engaging still in this situation?
Yeah, I think few as company as the Ruiter Bayer also need a lot of change, not only customer and the growers, but also the development of the new types of tomatoes. This times we need to get what the customer needs.
Exactly.
The change not only for the pandemic, but also the climate change. The demand of different tomatoes is growing. So yeah, that's why we need close contact, and we need each other in this, the grower and your company. everybody's a seeds
Yeah, it's
company.
more like
Yeah.
I think like to be like strategy allies.
Yeah.
You know, just to think if you're growing, we are growing, so
Yeah.
we have to work together. I think we're doing really well on that.
Yeah, I think everything, of course, everything is going to more digitally. We have, like I said, a lot of more contact now by digitally and videos, webinars, everything to keep each other. We need fast information from both sides.
How do you see the market developing for the next year? What are your expectation for the 2022 and beyond? What do you think after this pandemic is going to happen? Or how we're going to change? What is the market consumer trend?
I think, yeah, like I said, if the healthier food is gonna be a more a hot thing now, it means the demand keep growing. And for us growers, it's very important to the buyers, the customers, that we keep producing.
So you think that the next years and beyond is gonna be a really good for our business?
Yeah.
So Fresh Market is gonna grow.
I think it's gonna grow, and maybe the segment is gonna be moving to the left or right, but the balance will stay what we need and slowly grow. And for us, growth is very important. The customer is the king. Let's say like this way. We must deliver what they need, and not only the pandemic is then something that is changing the way of working, but also the industry problems about the virus and everything. But that's for our growers the main thing, not for the customers, for the growers.
No, totally agree. What you said before, like, you think that some variety segments are growing or gaining popularity in the cost for another. So what you said before, like in the pandemic situation, one segment the customers are moving from one segment to another. You think after the pandemic and beyond, on the next years, what's the market is gonna change? So it's gonna keep it this mix changing. So we're gonna swipe. The customer are swiping for another kind of segment, another type of varieties. We're gonna move it in that way. We're gonna keep the same.
I think good question. What's gonna happen in the future? I think the demand, I hope, will stay high from the small segment also, which we see now people buy more the small segment, the luxury. I think it will stay or growing, but it's not going to be at cost of the big
tomatoes.
Cooking tomatoes.
Okay. Yes.
Because if the demand will rise, will stay for the big ones, it will not be growing at the cost of something else.
And what about that? Do you think that the Brexit, or even the Brexit and the Morocco market, the exportation from Morocco, is gonna impact in our market nowadays?
Yeah, we see already it's a little bit impact the UK, the Brexit. We see a little bit more demand from the UK. More export from Holland, basically, to the UK. Because of the growers, they are now in Tunisia, for example, and Morocco, producing, and they're going through Holland to UK. We see the demand for this, but they have also a negative higher taxes for it. So I think this will go a little bit down, and the UK demand up.
And how the company Combiblade track the market trend? So how do you go one step ahead on that? So
the company Combiblade has, together with other growers companies, they have one company organization who's selling the tomatoes. That's the Harvest House. They have a special sales team who is tracking the information, basically from the supermarkets and the customers, the retailers. What is needed for now, the next period, and the next years. So what we need, we're gonna know. So then the growers, us, we know, okay, what segment do we need more to keep the balance for the needs of the customers.
Okay, so you use to make decision
Yeah.
on that. So it's really interesting. So
Yeah.
you invest on research, on market research. So that's great.
Yeah.
And what do you think for the next years? What is going to be the main challenge in terms of the market? So
The main challenge is first, of course, we have the pandemic now. Also the Topgraph risk.
and happened at the same time as the pandemic, so it was really.
Yeah. So you have a certain demand from the customers, and we must make sure we can deliver what the customer needs. But us as we grow, we want to take the risk as low as possible with the Topgraph. So yeah, for that it's also very important to keep the contact with people like Bayer de Ruiter close, to make sure we have the right type of tomatoes which are resistant against or a lower risk with Topgraph. If the demand stay high or growing, it doesn't matter which segment, but it's growing, then we need to make sure we have to deal with the pandemic. Yeah, that's the task for the seed producers, to make the tomato which is the perfect one for us growers in our climate.
So in the future, what do you think that we can just collaborate with us, like a really strong supporter for you? What do you expect from us, in the next years?
Basically, continue what we do now. Keeping contact, close communication is so important, because we have the same goal. Basically now, of course, the Ruiter have a test center where they have
the experience
the
center.
deck, where they testing already the types of tomatoes. We are the location which is in the real life producing it. So we give a lot of information to the Ruiter, which we benefit both from in the future, us and
What do you think that how we can support you further to improve and to strengthen our relationship? How we can collaborate together?
For the future, I think continue a lot like we do now. Communication is the key. And in that way is information also the key. So keep this communication like this, share information with each other to make each other smarter. If we have information for you and for me, and talking about the harvest, how everything is going, the future, open mind.
Just the last recommendation you can give us now, and for everyone that is seeing us. What kind of recommendation at the end do you want to, if you have, for us as a seed producer, that we can help you to improve better?
Good question. I think first of all a compliment, because I think you're giving a lot of open communication to us. Of course, together you communicate, but a lot of help with us.
Yes.
To strengthen each other in this for the future, and keep the information flow. And it is really important. It's also our in our name, Commonfleet, grow together. And that's exactly I think what we need
from us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you
for the spice.
Thank you very much.
And hope to see you and to keep in touch for the next time.
I'm absolutely sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks.